In our world lead, the future of more than 1,000 Afghan nationals who worked alongside U.S. forces in Afghanistan before the Taliban takeover in 2021 is very much unknown right now. These Afghans and their families have been living at Camp Asaliya, a former U.S. Army base in Qatar, while being vetted. But the New York Times is reporting that they might be resettled in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is part of the ongoing debate within the Trump administration over not allowing Afghans who helped American forces at risk of their own lives permanently settle in the U.S., instead sending them to other countries. With me now, Sean Jamshidi, born in Afghanistan, came to the U.S. at age 4, served as a U.S. Marine for 10 years, including in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and his brother Masood is right now at Camp Asaliya in Qatar. So your brother worked as a security contractor and a translator for the U.S. mission in Afghanistan starting in 2010. What are you hearing? What is he hearing about where he and his family might be sent if it's not the U.S., as so many of them had been promised?
Well, the word keeps changing overnight, but the last we've heard through the media is that they're going to be sent to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And when I heard that for the first time, I said, absolutely not. I served there in uniform, and it's probably one of the worst places that you could live in. It's unstable. They're currently dealing with their own civil unrest, and there's crimes there higher than any other country in Africa.
What would you say to President Trump if he was watching right now in terms of this idea that they might send these 1,000 Afghan allies who are being vetted right now to come here to the U.S., might send them somewhere else other than the U.S.?
What I would say to President Trump is, President Trump, Mr. President, these Afghan allies, they stood beside us, they fought with us, they gave their life for us, and we need to do the right thing. We gave them a promise that we're going to give them to safety, and that is to the United States of America.
So the U.S. government was due to close Camp Asaliya at the end of March due to security and safety threats in the region, obviously the war in Iran. What does your brother tell you about conditions at the camp?
So I've been to the camp myself, and the condition is not great. Camp Asaliya was not there for them to be there for long term. It was there for transit to be able to come to the United States. And the condition is not great. It affects their mental health because they can't leave the camp and they can't see family. And in the same time, we lost my father while he was on the camp. So it's not the greatest conditions.
What has it been like to watch this unfold? I mean, you are a Marine. You served our nation honorably. Your brother worked as a security contractor and translator for the U.S. mission in Afghanistan. Emotionally, what's it like to see the U.S. turn its back on your brother?
It's deeply heartbreaking for me and my family. It's something that we can't wrap our heads around because, again, I served the Marine Corps. My brother served the U.S. mission. He was along the mission as much as anyone else was in Afghanistan at the time. And my entire family served indirectly or directly through the U.S. government. So it's something that's heartbreaking for us, something that we can't understand. And we're trying to, and we're hoping that the administration will allow these individuals who served us and supported us to be able to come to the United States.
All right, Sean Jamshidi, thank you so much for your time and thank you for your service.
Thank you.